Hi guys, Miss Hudson here. So today we're going to be having a little bit of a look at migration. We're going to be looking at it through our case study of Mexico. So that migration from Mexico to the USA and what kind of impacts they have there. So how this is going to work today is that I'm going to be talking, and at certain points I'm just going to say pause, and then your goal is just pause the video and then go and complete the task that relates to that. Okay? So first of all, on your worksheet that you have some key terms, and they're on the screen there as well, that I want you to actually try and match up the keyword and the definition and just see if you can work that one out. Okay, so if you just want to pause for me for a second and have a go at that task. All right, so what you should have done is you should have matched those up already. Now, I'm going to go through answers here, so just go through, see if you can get them. Pause as and when you need. Okay, so migration is when people move from one place to another. A commuter is when someone travels each day to and from work and home. International migration is when people move abroad to live. A refugee is someone who has been forced to move because of war or their rural home is being destroyed. Rural to urban migration is the movement of people from the countryside to live in the city. Okay. Now, so it comes to this whole idea here. What do we mean by inter? So we've used a few terms that inter literally means between. It is the Latin word for between. So we've got interwar, intercoastal, interdependence, intergenerational, interfaith. These are all different words that we use to mean in between. Okay. Now, the next little task we're going to be looking at is push and pull factors. So if we have a look on the board here, we've got push factors. Push factors are factors that force people to leave their home. And pull factors are factors that make people want to leave for a better quality of life. And that's the key difference there. Push, you have to. You don't really have much of a choice. And pull, it's more of a, this is what I want, so this is what I will do. So on your sheet, you've got these nice little push and pull factors. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to have a bit of a think and sort them on your worksheet into push and pull factors. Have a go. We'll go through answers in a minute. So pause here and we'll go through them. Okay, so you should have worked those ones out already, but this is what we did. So you'll notice here I've just color-coded them there. So push is my yellow and pull is my blue. Okay, so poor healthcare, high levels of air pollution, war, high levels of crime, unequal opportunities for women, corrupt governments. These are all push factors. They make people need to leave. Whereas pull factors, there's plenty of shops, it's remote, free, good quality healthcare, good weather, expensive housing, so on and so forth. Now, these are all quite good things. Okay? Now, this little map here. Now, you've got a copy of it on your sheet if you can't see it too well on my screen. Now, just before you even have a look at it, because I didn't black out the little box for you guys, what does the map show and what do the red dots represent? So you've got varying colors of red dots here, okay? Varying colors of red dots. And then it's also telling you which kind of regional area these are. Now, there are also these little blue, they're not quite dots, they're more like drops, and that might give it away for you there. Just really quickly, in your little comment, I'd like you to see if you can work out what the map shows. So just pause this here, and I'll come back in a sec. All right, so you should have kind of maybe been able to work out if you had a look at yours, that the red dots are migrant deaths, and the darker that the dot is, the more deaths that are occurring there. And it's actually really concerning. But they're all dotted around. The water stations are trying to stop that. They're trying to help. So if we have a look here, From October of 1999 through to March of 2012, 2,269 deaths were recorded at the Arizona-Mexican border. Water stations placed by non-profit Humane Borders are intended to mitigate deaths. If we've forgotten what that word mitigate means, it means to stop or to lessen. Okay? So just give yourself a chance, go through, see if you can have a go at now answering this question a bit more on your sheets. Now, on your sheets as well, there is a little video clip. So take time, watch the video clip, and then come back to this one, okay? So I'm just going to pause here for a second so you can go away, watch your clip, write your notes, and then you can come back. Okay, now our case study is Mexico and the USA. Now this is just a whole bunch of information, don't panic. There's just a bit of background here. There are 2,000 kilometer border between the USA and Mexico. It is illegal migration is a huge problem. The US Border Patrols guard the border and try to prevent illegal migrants from entering the country. Illegal migration costs the USA millions of dollars for border patrols and prisons. That's a lot of money. In 2012, the Obama administration deported a record of 409,849 undocumented immigrants, arriving at the rate of 34,000 a month. Many Americans believe that Mexican immigrants are a drain on the economy. They believe that migrant workers keep wages low, which will affect Americans. However, other people believe that Mexican migrants benefit the economy by working for lower wages. Mexican culture has also enriched the USA border states with food, language, and music. So that's a bit of the background kind of thing. But let's have a look at that impact there. So the Mexican countryside has a shortage of economically active people. Many men emigrate, leaving a majority of women who have trouble finding life partners. Young people tend to migrate, leaving the old and the very young. Legal and illegal immigrants together send some $6 billion a year back to Mexico. Certain villages, such as the Santa Ynez, have lost 2/3 of their inhabitants. So that's people living there. There's a large wage gap between the USA and Mexico. Wages remain significantly higher in the USA for a large portion of the population. This attracts many Mexicans to the USA. Many people find living in rural Mexico a struggle because they have to survive with very little money. Farmland is often overworked, and farms are small. It is estimated that 10,000 people try to smuggle themselves over the border every week. 1 in 3 get caught, and those that do are likely to continue trying to cross the border at least twice a year. So just some interesting little ideas for you there. Now, this one here, we're going to do a little bit of card sort. Now, you'll notice on your sheet, if you've had a look there, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the card sort to divide the information into advantages and disadvantages of migration from Mexico to the USA. Okay, so if you just want to pause here and look at advantages and disadvantages, I suggest maybe using some colored pencils to do this. Okay, so pause. Okay, now you should have done that one there, and we're not going to go through that one right now because this one's a bit more subjective, meaning that it's what you tend to think advantages and disadvantages are. Using those, if you have a look below on your worksheet, you'll see that there's a little table. I'd like you to work out, so take all the advantages, and I'd like you to work out if it's an advantage for Mexico or an advantage for the USA. Okay. Once you've done that, I would like you to have a go at that one for the disadvantages. Right, so I'm just going to pause there and give you a chance to do that. And make sure you give it a really good think. Okay. Right. And last but not least, I know it says challenge on my screen, sorry, but I'd like everyone to do this one here. What is the biggest issue for Mexico and the USA? Explain why. So using that information that you've just done, I'd like you to have a go at using these sentence starters, which again are on your worksheet for you to have a go at. So which one do you think is the biggest disadvantage for America? And what's the biggest disadvantage for Mexico? You might like to look at advantages in there as well, but we want to focus on those disadvantages. And that brings us, well, me to the end of your lesson. Hopefully this is a little bit of help for you. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask on Show My Homework. And I can't wait to see what you guys produce. Send it to Miss Hudson. All right, bye.